Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. Last night we aired the first part of my interview with the Republican who hopes to unseat Congressman Thomas Massie in Kentucky's May primary. Tonight the conversation with Todd McMurtry continues as he talks about the case that gave him a national platform as an attorney. I do have to get back to asking you about Nick Sandmann and the Covington Catholic case that we all remember. The video went viral that had happened. This is your first defamation case. You've already settled with CNN. You still have pending litigation with NBC, obviously our parent company, the Washington Post, and others.
Correct.
Yeah, it's still ongoing.
Right. Those cases continue. We're going to sue probably 8 additional defendants at this point. I continue to stay involved with those cases as they progress through the courts. But we do have a very effective team. As you said, I've never done a defamation case before. So as I got involved in the case in the early days, I identified a person who's now one of my dear friends, Lynn Wood, who is the nationally recognized as the leading plaintiff's defamation attorney. So he is affiliated with me and with the family in the case, and he's really the person with the deep base of knowledge in this area. And together, between our firms, we have 7 attorneys basically spending a good part of every day on this case.
What have you learned from going through this case about social media, news, all of that? What have you gleaned from this process?
What I've learned is that, especially in the national level in the mainstream media, that they will do whatever they need to do to get their message out. The way they trampled on Nick Sandmann's rights and has destroyed his reputation, they did that in violation of every journalistic standard. I mean, it was complete journalistic malpractice what happened to that young man. So I realized how agenda-driven the news is today, and I didn't really get that so much, like say back in 2017 when they were attacking the president. I didn't understand that it was a coordinated effort amongst the Washington Post and the New York Times and other mainstream media outlets to attack the president. Today, I know that that's true, and I think that's the leading lesson that comes out of these cases. And I think the other critical thing that comes out of these cases is the fact that we're holding the mainstream media accountable for these lies, and we're doing so in a very aggressive manner. So I'm thrilled to be involved.
How is Nick?
Nick is a changed person. He is a fine young man. He's very intelligent. He's very determined. He's very quiet, but at the same time, he's a true leader. He gets things done. So for a person who at 16 years old was subjected to all of this insanity, he held up about as well as anybody could hold up. But the fact is that the mainstream media has forever defined who Nick Sandmann is. So outside of his family, his friends, me, his lawyer, others that are working for him, and maybe the woman he marries in the future, most people won't know the real Nick Sandmann. The real Nick Sandmann is an honest, sincere, religious person who cares about his family and friends. He's the kind of person that you would want as a son or a nephew. He's just a fine person.
So do you think it was just the media, or does he acknowledge or think that maybe he played some part in it at all?
No, I think that the way we look at this, and I've been through multiple interviews with him from people who are in the industry who are very well recognized, and they've asked a similar question. But the view that Nick has and what he's been steadfast with is that he didn't do anything. He was approached by Nathan Phillips. He didn't incite any violence with Nathan Phillips. He didn't object to what Nathan Phillips was doing. And as soon as they said, let's go to the left. If you look at the video, and there's a great video called The Truth in 15 Minutes that you can find on YouTube, it shows what happened from every angle. And when you look at that video, it's very clear that Nick was standing where he was and Nathan Phillips approached him. Nick didn't move, didn't block him, didn't prevent him from going anywhere. Nathan Phillips chose to be there.
Is the notoriety that you maybe have gained from doing this case at such a national level, do you feel like that helps your campaign?
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a transformative experience to be involved in this. I've been on television, a dozen times so far. I've been interviewed in radio shows all across the country. There's no doubt that the experience of being involved in this process has prepared me well for the campaign trail. And certainly a lot of people now know who I am as the primary spokesman for the case. And so I've learned a lot, and it's certainly elevated my reputation in the legal community, both locally and nationally. So it's been, as an attorney, a wonderful experience to be involved in something as unique and significant as these cases have been.
Still ahead on Hey Kentucky, a game of Cringe Factor. We'll cover several more topics, including the latest promotional stunt from KFC. Ryan's here. We got to do it. Don't go away.